This is you. You're sitting across from the most dangerous man in northern Mexico. And he just slid a manila envelope across the mahogany table like it's a dinner check. Your hands don't shake. You've trained too long for that. But your brain? Your brain is running every exit calculation it knows, and every single one of them comes back the same answer: 0. You open the envelope. Inside are photographs. Crystal clear, time-stamped, professionally printed. You at the dead drop in Hermosillo. You transmitting coordinates from the parking garage on Calle Reforma. You meeting your handler at the Pemex station outside the city, the one you thought was invisible because it was 3 a.m. and raining. 11 photographs total. Every clandestine contact you've made in 8 months of deep cover, documented with the precision of a surveillance operation that had to cost serious money and serious patience. The last photo is the worst one. It's you. Last Tuesday. Smiling at Rosa's quinceañera, a beer in your hand, completely relaxed, completely comfortable, completely not acting anymore. El Señor picks up his coffee cup, takes a slow sip, and doesn't say a word. He doesn't have to. The silence is doing his talking for him, and it's saying, "We've known for a while. We let you stay. Now you're going to find out why." Rewind 8 months. You were the DEA's golden ticket, fluent in narco-culture, built like someone who grew up hungry, with a backstory airtight enough to survive 3 separate cartel vetting procedures. Your mission was surgical. Get close to El Señor's inner circle, map the supply chain, identify the political connections on both sides of the border, and extract before the big operation dropped. Simple. Clean. The kind of mission that looks elegant in a briefing room. What they didn't brief you on was Miguel. Miguel found you in your 2nd week. Not because he suspected anything, because he genuinely liked you. He's the cartel's head of logistics, mid-40s, reads Garcia Marquez, coaches youth soccer on Saturday mornings like he isn't coordinating the movement of 300 kilos a week. He took you under his arm, the way some men adopt strays. Brought you into the fold gradually, vouched for you personally, taught you the unwritten rules. Don't talk money at dinner. Always greet the older guys first. Never, under any circumstances, ask about El Señor's son. You filed reports on him every week. Precise, valuable, career-defining reports. You didn't feel great about it. You felt like a professional. Then you met his daughter at that quinceañera. She's 7 years old, and she showed you a drawing she made of her dad as a superhero. And you smiled and said it was perfect, and you meant it. And that was the exact moment the mission started costing you something real. Back to the present. El Señor sets down his cup and finally speaks. He says your real name, not your cover name, your actual name. The one on your birth certificate, the one your mother calls you, the one that hasn't existed in this country for 8 months. He says it the way you'd say the name of an old friend, casual, warm, almost fond. Then he tells you that you've been identified since month 3. An informant inside the DEA's regional office. Turns out institutional loyalty has a price tag, and his organization paid it 2 years ago. Month 3. You do the math involuntarily. Everything you transmitted after month 3 was already compromised. Every coordinate, every name, every meeting. The DEA thinks they've been running a deep cover asset. What they've actually been running is a carefully curated information feed that El Señor has been using to eliminate rival cells and divert law enforcement attention like traffic cones. You've been a weapon aimed at his enemies. You just didn't know it. The realization lands like a boot to the sternum. You've spent 8 months believing you were the hunter. You were the bait the whole time. Game on. Except the game started without you. El Señor leans back in his chair and makes you an offer so calm it sounds like a business proposal, because that's exactly what it is. He doesn't need you dead. Dead DEA assets create noise, investigations, international attention, administrative headaches. What he needs is a sustained relationship. You continue transmitting to your handler. He continues controlling what you transmit. You become a permanent asset, his asset, drawing a government salary and his supplement, living a life that by any external measure looks like decorated federal service. In exchange, Miguel's family stays untouched. Rosa gets to grow up and make more superhero drawings. And you walk out of this room breathing, which as of 60 seconds ago was not guaranteed. He gives you 30 seconds to think about it. Checkmate wrapped in a courtesy countdown. Here's what they don't teach you at Quantico. There's a version of compromise that doesn't feel like surrender. It feels like survival calculus. You run the numbers the way you've been trained to. If you refuse, you're dead before you hit the courtyard, and the informant inside the DEA leaks your termination as a cover compromise. Your handler gets burned. The operation collapses. Nobody wins. If you accept, you stay alive, you stay in play, and you stay in the only position where you can actually do something about any of this. There's a third option they definitely didn't teach you at Quantico. It's the one you've been building toward since month 5, when you first suspected the transmission loop wasn't clean and started running a parallel private log on a device that reports to no agency on Earth. 11 months of documented evidence, the political connections, the cross-border payroll, the name of the informant inside the DEA, and every meeting in this room going back to the first time El Señor shook your hand and didn't know you were memorizing the layout of his security cameras. You look at El Señor and you say yes. You say it the way he said your name. Warm, almost fond, like you're agreeing to something reasonable between people who understand each other. He smiles. He has a good smile. You understand now why people follow him. You understood it around month 4, honestly, and that understanding scared you more than anything else about this job. He pours 2 glasses of something expensive and slides one across the table. You pick it up. You drink it. It's very good. What El Señor doesn't know, what nobody knows yet, is that the private log uplinks automatically at 6 a.m. every Sunday to an encrypted server registered to a non-profit organization that doesn't exist, administered by a retired federal judge whose name appears in that log approximately 47 times connected to wire transfers he's going to have a very hard time explaining. Today is Saturday. You have about 18 hours to decide whether you let that upload happen. Burn every person in this building, including Miguel, including Rosa's father, who reads Garcia Marquez and coaches youth soccer, including yourself, or whether you abort the upload, become what El Señor just asked you to become, and spend the rest of your career as the most dangerous double agent in North American law enforcement history. You set the glass down on the mahogany table. El Señor is already moving on to other business, already trusting you the way powerful men trust arrangements they believe they control. Outside the window, the sun is going down over the desert. Somewhere across that desert, your handler is waiting for a check-in. You're not going to send tonight. Your phone says 6:14 p.m., 11 hours and 46 minutes. You smile at nothing in particular and start doing the math.